Alright, I've got us up on laser code Golf to deconflict. Our LWR is on. And most important question, do you have a button bound to hand off flight controls to the CPG?
I have the same ones bound so I can fly it, yeah.
That didn't answer the question. Are you able to hand over control of multi-crew?
Like if we were to do the C and switch places?
You said C? That's what you pressed?
Yeah, well I mean, to switch with you, to switch control, it would be C, but I do have it. I do have the CPG bound to run the T to act and stuff like that.
You're not going to be able to go up to CPG with me in it. What I'm saying is, you have a button that allows the CPG to take over the flight controls. What I'm saying is, we can't switch seats, but I can fly the aircraft if you hand over permissions.
Right, that's the C, I think. Your controls here. Just give it a try. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I pressed the C. Did you get a prompt?
Nope.
Okay.
So, for example, like I know I can send you a prompt.
Yeah. I see that.
Yep.
Is that what you want?
But I know that there's a way to just straight up hand the controls from the pilot seat. And it's using the same exact keybind that I use for sending you that prompt to begin with. You want to go ahead and deny that for now? But yeah, it comes in handy. I've flown with someone who had to step away for one reason or another. And, you know, usually just setting the aircraft on a attitude control. It's good for maybe 30 seconds, but eventually something's going to go wrong.
Yep, it's either going to climb or it's going to drop.
Exactly.
And most times it's going to drop.
Well, most things that go up eventually go down. Alright. I'm scanning FCR. Up on the waypoint.
I just turned it back on, yeah.
Alright, let's slow her down and maybe turn hard left, 90 degrees. We should have contacts around that waypoint. There are going to be friendlies, but there's also going to be enemy units reported in that area. matter of fact, we do have an armored vehicle showing up on FCR.
Yep. So, go a little bit more and turn around.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll just try to get lined up so that we can see right down the valley.
Yeah.
Alright, let me get the FCR back on the valley. It seemed to have strayed a bit. But I wouldn't approach Whiskey 1 too closely.
Okay. Yeah, where's that target now?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Let's fall back. Try to pick up some speed heading away so that we can get some distance, and then we'll try to spot him a little further out. FCR's got him. I'm gonna try to cack that position so that we have a reference when we return. Let's go ahead and turn to the right and head down the valley away. Yeah, let's start pushing like 210. More maybe 220. Yeah, this is good. Let's keep going this way.
Are we close enough to side scan it?
Side scan it?
Having the FCR on the, like on the side, scanning from the side.
Oh, I'm turning the FCR around right now.
Rotor RPM high.
Yeah, unfortunately, it won't go behind us. Doesn't like doing that. Unless I send it over to that. We'll try that. Almost there. Go forward a little bit. Got FCR going again. Ooh, let me change that scan type. Go more left. We don't want to close the gap between us and the target. Yeah, we're just going to stay perpendicular. Right now, your goal is to manage the distance between us and Whiskey 1. Alright, let me send the TADs over there. If possible. Alright.
Ready to go to the right?
Yep, go right. Come on now. Alright, we got a armored vehicle.
Yep.
Alright, nose down, nose down, nose down.
Nah, shit.
Yeah, we lost our tail there.
Yeah.
Alright, set her down.
It's down.
Yep, shut off power, and we'll get into it. Yeah, that was just a settling of power. This terrain is unforgiving.
Horrible.
Punch it out. Alright, let me know when you jump in another airframe, and this time, try not to touch anything until I am in. West. That. Alright, let's fire up.
Request rearming.
Copy.
Comms check ICS.
Gotcha.
Alright. before we take off, one thing that I would like to have us confirm is that that we have our have that button set and working. Just to be certain.
Okay.
Let's get this thing started up, and then we'll check right before we take off. Because like that, if you get into a situation where you're really uncertain how to get out of, you could quick handoff if you wanted to.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you, and it happens more on this map. My
yes.
rudder pedals just get out of whack, and the RPMs get out of hand, and it just happens all of a sudden.
Yeah, so if you go under 40 knots,
yeah,
you no longer produce lift from your little wings on the side.
Right.
And that usually you'd be okay in most terrain as long as you're in low altitude. But this entire map is high altitude. there's all there is here is high altitude and higher altitude.
I mean, taking off is a chore I see even more lately.
Yes. So like I see you've reduced your fuel a bit and potentially your gun count and all that. I just changed our Hellfire loadout a little bit so that we have at least 2 radar guided on board, because they are super handy. It's nice to be able to fire a Hellfire without having to guide it in.
That's just a stock weapons profile for Shindan, because they're, you can only get 2 pylons full of missiles.
Correct.
Okay, I think I'm set to go.
Okay. Aircraft's alignment is not done yet.
There it is.
Okay. I just wanted to add this FARP straight out the gate.
Yep.
To our route, and now I'm punching in the code for where we are going to be headed. What I'll do for now is let me just give you a bearing. Bearing is going to be 055. So you are clear to go whenever you're ready. I don't know where Kaiser's going. I'm just saying the bearing we want to head, our heading that we want to stay on is 055.
Copy. Coming up. said 055?
055. Alright, direct to is set.
Got it. That's the same one that we were at then?
Yep.
You know, we forgot to set up that CPG, or the switch control.
That'll be good. You think he'll freak out if I start lasing him?
Yeah, well, you might wonder why he's being tracked, yeah. I'm sure he saw us on the pad.
Yeah. He knew we were going to be nothing but trouble.
Well, if he did now, he knows. took away all doubt.
All right, so the valley is coming up. We want to probably get ourselves set on course. He's actually closer to the valley than we are. We want to get a little further offset to the left here. We can see the valley forming right out off of our 11 o'clock.
I was going to ask you what side of the valley we want to come in, from the center, straight up, or
I think we're going to want to go right down the middle so we can see things. As we get close, that's when we're going to turn away.
Okay.
Once we start getting... Before we get to the point where we're, within FCR range, like 8 clicks, we want to bring our speed down to... we'll definitely have our speed down to 80 knots. who is that? That's Kaiser. Okay. Alright, looks like he is already guns hot. Yeah, he's clearing some things. Let's turn right and very gradual right, just so we could get over the road. We're gonna get over the road and work our way in. Looks like he is egressing from something quickly. Something may have been firing his way. Let's see what we could get eye on. Yep, let's get that FCR pointed roughly around there. It would be great if we could find it.
Seemed like it was more on the right-hand side before we got there, wasn't it? Like tucked into the hill or something? Ah, bingo. Nope. Yep.
I can take a
There's
look what that
FCR.
is. Take it over FCR. Staring that down. Looks like that contact was shredded.
Okay.
That's what he shot at.
Yep.
I can
Okay,
see
we're
with
gonna
Mark
get
1
some more
eyeball
speed
not
up.
smoking. There's definitely a lot of contacts up ahead, so we'll just don't speed up too much. Because then it'll be very difficult to slow down. Oh, I'm seeing he is raining down fire over there. Let me see what we got.
You got the FCR?
Yes, FCR.
Okay.
I'm looking right at that. It looks like that contact got shredded. The tracked vehicle got shredded. Both of those FCR contacts have been prosecuted. You see my TED's repeater, I'm assuming.
What?
You can see the repeater from my TED's, right?
No, I don't know what repeater you're talking about.
Oh, so you cannot see my display that's from the targeting pod?
No.
Alright, set the aircraft in attitude hold.
Missile, forward right.
Turn away, turn away!
Missile, forward right.
You're good. Why is the flare going crazy?
That's me.
Oh, stop it. You're gonna waste all of our flares. You don't want to dump all your flares unless you know for sure you're getting fired on. Or at least a little bit more sure.
Right.
We've got 2 friendlies between us and the targets, so if someone's gonna get fired at, it's gonna be one of them first.
Missile,
Right.
aft left.
Do you have your CMWS set to auto?
It,
Set it to bypass. There's
I
a metal.
can't right now.
Understood.
I know.
That thing spazzes out too much.
Yeah.
We're gonna run out of countermeasures before we even get to enemy contact. Let me know when you got it on bypass.
Okay, bypass.
Excellent. Alright, we can turn around. We had some room between us and them. Chances are that was a friendly that fired. And they were very naughty. They didn't call out their rifle. Now, the aircraft is going to freak out indiscriminately of who is firing the missile. Although I am seeing a shit ton of flak out there.
Oh,
so,
right behind us.
Yeah.
You sure that? Yeah.
Let me slave the TADs over there and take a look, see what we got. I think it can't slave all the way over to the right, so we're gimbal limited at the moment.
More flak right there. I see it. Off to our 90. Straight off our right.
Okay. Struggling to see that. But I am getting an anti-air threat or triangle on FCR contact. So if we can face that, I want to try to get eyes on. Alright, so we've got a bunch of values here. Just trying to maintain your speed and manage your power, because we definitely have some altitude around us.
Yeah, I mean, I have no rudder pedal at this point, so.
No rudder pedal?
I mean, I'm slowly releasing it, and that's where we're at. It's not wanting to turn.
Do you have your force trim set to trim your rudder, or what kind of rudder do you possess? What hardware do you have for your rudder?
The Thrustmaster. The cheap plastic ones.
Yep. Are they self-centering, or do they at least not center?
They self-center.
They self-center. Have you ever changed anything in your... Here, let's do this. Let's turn away from the AO. Let's go 240.
Oh. We're taking fire.
Yep, let's go 240. And do haste. We need to get out of here.
Takes us back to the trouble zone.
No, it's taking us to a zone that has been cleared. We have an enemy unit rolling right off of our left. So just be aware. This hill right here is actually providing us excellent coverage. But that is trouble.
Know when we can turn around or figure out my.
Nope, we cannot turn around.
Nope. Oh, we're out of power.
Yeah.
Rotor RPM low.
Whoop. Oh, that guy sniped us. Let's pick up a fresh bird. I want to go over your. Actually, unmute your mic in Discord for a second, because we might need to have you step off the server for a second to take a look at some settings.
it crashed.
Oh, it crashed.
No, it just came back. It was.
It didn't like the alt
one of
tab
those-
or something. So since you mentioned one very key piece of information to me, you said your pedals are self-centering.
They are spring, and they do center themselves. Yeah.
Okay, so then
There's
you
a
have
cheap
your
Thrustmaster.
yeah. In a way, your setup is going to be kind of similar to what I'm dealing with because I got pedals that also self-center. And the problem is if you don't set your trim settings properly, you're always going to be fighting the rudder. Do you know if you've ever messed with the special settings for the AH64 trim?
Yeah.
Do you know what you set it for?
And it's not allowing me to see the 64 from the option menu.
No, you're not going to be able to see while you're on a server. You'd have to go to main menu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. Yeah, because this is extremely critical. This is like more important than anything when you're flying this thing.
Well, I mean, I've been, on some servers, it's great. They're fine. It's just all these high altitudes is when it really gives me problems.
It's a challenge. Okay. And your cyclic, your stick, is I'm assuming that is also a self-centering spring-based stick.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you currently have set? So if you go to options and then special, and then head over to the AH64.
AH64, got it. Yeah. I got instant trim for the cyclic.
That's wrong. And then what do you have for the pedals?
Central position.
Yeah, you're going to want central position trimmer mode. Yep.
And central position trimmer mode is set for pedal.
That's what you want. Yep.
Yep.
Now, I guess you could do the instant, but the instant is really designed for a force feedback stick, which you do not possess. So, since you have a centering...
It's got a rumble thing.
That doesn't mean anything. But yeah, you're gonna want a central position. You're gonna want central position trimmer mode, for your cyclic as well. All right, so it seems like your cyclic had an issue, but your pedals were okay. All right.
Yeah, I think it's just the way, just the altitude and the flying and getting used to that sort of terrain, and you have to look at everything, your altitude and your speed, the power, and
it's more demanding. It's more demanding flying in those conditions. Absolutely. One other thing while we're here, if you could go to your options, controls, AH64D pilot. What I will recommend you look for is an action called Request Aircraft Control.
Request Aircraft Control is C.
It's C. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Like, I know I've had anything that was bound to the keyboard unbound because I've actually bound my full keyboard to the Apache keyboard.
Oh.
So it makes it really easy to type everything in. But that means, there are a few things that were bound to those keys that I ended up rebinding to things in my button boxes or whatever else out there. But yes, exactly. This is that is the button that allows you to switch control over.
Right. And I thought it was C because I remember watching
Spud and his Patreon class, you
Yep.
know, he always talked about the C, and you know, I have control, and so how'd you do